Hello, folks. This is Talan coming at you from 90.3 KDVS with the first inaugural Wrap Your Mind show. Stevin, Groth is my co-host. Let him briefly say hi before we get into a little bit of serious business.
Well, folks, I'm just honored to be here tonight. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoy our show. As Scott said, my name is Stevin Groth. I'm a history major here at Davis. I enjoy bowling and most sports, and I think I'm pretty active in both the political sphere and the social sphere. Go for it, Scott.
Thank you. Briefly, before I introduce myself, for those of you who don't know me, disclaimer, anything we do say in the show, you really can't hold KDVS responsible for, and you really can't hold us responsible for anything we say, so if you see us on campus, don't get too irate, please. As far as myself, I'm a double major here at wonderful UC Davis, political science and economics. I obviously like politics, I like sports, I like going out, and I think I'm fairly verbal at times, a little bit too verbose, and if it happens to be like that, feel free to call in and cut me off. And that's what I'm getting to right now. This show is, of course, with Stevin and I as a host, but it's also involving the people out there. We have a call-in line at 752-2777. Feel free, if you want to address an issue, if you disagree with one of my opinions, they're usually right, but you can feel free to disagree. It's your right as a citizen, I guess. But call in and speak your mind, wrap your mind, and feel free to tell us what you think. A policy of our show will be each week at the beginning to have a trivia question, and then at the end of the show we will tell you the answer, and if you think positively you know the answer to it, you can call in. Otherwise, just wait and hear the right answer. And here is this week's trivia question, and here is Stevin Groth with the question.
Okay, we're going to start right off with a musical trivia question. I think that's appropriate. The Coffee House has often been host to bands that have gone from, I would like to think, right from the Coffee House to instant stardom. But can you tell us, and if you think you know this answer, go ahead and call in, otherwise you can wait, 3 bands that now couldn't really play in the Coffee House with drawing an extremely overflow crowd. In other words, you'd probably see them at the Rec Hall or maybe even the Sac Memorial Auditorium. So if you know that answer, call in. I know a lot of people will, but maybe you'll be the first.
I think those bands played here in the year 1978, and it's 3 different groups, and I'll give you a little hint. They're really not any heavy metal groups, so that should help you out somewhat. Right now we'll get into our first main topic of tonight, and that's, we do have our first call. I don't know if we'll take it yet, but it's just pleasing to know we have a call already. It's a good thing to see. Our first topic will be the new, I guess, party guidelines that seem to be cropping up in UC Davis, and a lot of it affects both fraternities and also people who aren't in fraternities who like to have parties. That are really getting strict on the noise ordinance, on limitations, on what time you can have the party go to, and a lot of technicalities. And I know Stevin has a lot to say about this.
Well, Scott, you know, I do, but I think we have a call, and maybe we'll take it right now. So let's go to line 1 and take that call. Go ahead, you're on the air.
Hello, I have 2 guesses. I don't have the third one, but the first one's the police.
I'm sorry, we're having a little difficulty in hearing you, so we're going to turn the volume up, and please repeat your question.
Okay. My answers are, the first one's the police.
That's correct.
And the second one is Devo.
That is correct.
That's doubly correct.
And I don't have a third one.
You don't have a third one.
Sir, did you hear what I said? I said if you know the whole answer, call in. Next time, if you have trouble hearing, I can understand it, but if you don't, please pay attention to the rules, otherwise don't call in.
Well, I just turned the radio on, and I didn't hear the rules.
Okay.
Well, that's a valid excuse, and we'll save the third answer till later.
All right, thank you very much.
But we do appreciate you calling in, and feel free, if you come up with that third answer, to call in any time. Now, getting back to our party idea, there really is 2 separate issues involving this party problem. What we face is the noise ordinance and the alcohol problem. And they're really separate issues because I feel that, and I know Scott does too, that they can be solved separately and should not be considered a single item. And let me explain that. While the noise affects the neighbors and people in the community, the alcohol is really a social issue. It's national. Nancy Reagan comes out against it. And I think we've got to remind ourselves that these 2 issues are not a single entity.
Right now, you probably read in the wonderful California Aggie last Friday that 2 fraternity parties had their parties canceled by the Alcohol Beverage Control Board, and it was for, in my opinion, technicalities. You're not supposed to advertise in the paper, which is a rule. However, they were advertising it as a concert, and because of the tightened forces, we have another call, it seems, and we'll take it right here.
Hello, you're on KDVS? Yes, I'm going to give the 3 answers a try.
Wait a minute.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, first one's police.
Hey, I bet you heard that on the radio before. You know that.
Second one's Devo.
That's correct.
And third one's Joe Jackson.
No.
No, you're wrong.
Okay.
I'd say Joe Jackson's a good guess, and he is popular, but there's someone even more successful out there who played in our own coffee house. Thanks for calling in, though.
Back to what I was saying. The party was canceled at 2 fraternities in town, and they used various technicalities within the guidelines to get them for it. And the thing that gets me right now is it seems that various members in this community seem to be coming down, against fraternities especially, and especially against parties. And what they have to understand is that these parties are a social outlet. This campus, we do more than study here. We have a reputation for studying, but we also do like to go out. And I think that to come down hard on the Greek community affects more than just the Greek community. We have a lot of non-Greeks that go to these parties, and that's why I think it's an important issue to address.
Scott, believe it or not, we do have another phone call.
I don't believe anything you say. You've interrupted me 3 times tonight with these phone calls. I think we may have to change the format of this show to a non-call in if I can't get a word in. But I think there's some
people out there who are happy that you can't get a word in, and let's take that phone call. Hello, you're on the air, I think.
Yeah?
Go ahead, How you doing, miss?
I think it's Devo.
I think you're right.
Okay.
I bet you heard that before, too.
Excuse me, repeat that again?
Devo.
Yes.
The Police.
Yes.
And Elvis Costello.
You are a winner, miss.
Miss, you are a winner. The only thing we fail to mention is what you win for that, and usually the standard prize is, I think, a KDVS album of some sort, a small one, a single. Or you can have a choice of a date with Stevin Groth.
Oh, that's incredible, Scott. And seeing as how I know you're free Friday night.
Stevin, I'm always free. No one goes out with me lately. Not that they ever did. Miss, what's your name?
Kim Warner.
Kim Warner. If you ever see us on campus, just feel free to shake our hands and we'll talk trivia sometime because you seem very intelligent and very knowledgeable on the musical issues of today.
I don't.
You don't?
I love your honesty. I love your laugh.
Well, thank you for calling in, and we appreciate that, and we appreciate the support. Scott, would you like to continue on that?
Wait, Stevin, you want to interrupt me again?
I'd like to, because I think we have another phone call.
Hello?
Yes.
All right, hey, I want to enter this contest.
All right, well, I tell you what, I'd like to hear your answers.
All right, well, I think it's Devo.
I think you're right.
I think it's the Police.
I think you're right again.
And I think it's Elvis Costello. Do I win the date with Stevin Groth?
Well, listen, far be it from me to be a advocate of gay rights in this campus, but I guess it's your right to ask whoever you want to out. And
you mean I can ask you, Tal?
No, you can ask me. I'll say no, though.
I'll say, calling Tal by his nickname Tal, you two must be on familiar terms. So maybe it'd be more appropriate for you to go out with Scott.
No, thank you, Stevin. No dates for me. Back to the issue of what I'll call tightening down on parties in Davis. It seems in the newspapers and various people that hold positions of power in this community seem to be coming down especially hard on fraternities and the parties they have. And, it's easy to come down on fraternities in this city. They're a minority group. They're supposed to be obnoxious, a bunch of guys always drinking and chewing tobacco. However, if I can liken what's going on in the community to various politicians. Sometimes you hear that they say, there's welfare cheats in America, and then they say their solution to that is to abolish the whole welfare system. Well, that's similar to this. Okay, there's a few people that do drink too much, they do get rowdy, they do go through the lawns, your lawns in this neighborhood, but you can't just say because of these few people that we shouldn't have any parties at all, and that seems to be the attitude we're taking. Stevin, can you maybe respond?
Sure. Yes, I agree with that, Scott, and like I was saying, I think what we're trying to do is abolish everything to save a smaller thing. And I think that these parties, for example, one of the parties that was canceled merely because someone took and put flyers on the windshields of cars. Now, of course, no one could even prove that necessarily the fraternity members, or even above and beyond the fraternity members, whomever is throwing a party, would do something like that. And yet that's the reasoning behind canceling a party that, say, 1,200 to 1,400 people would attend.
Another thing, Stevin, is that at these parties, the security would still be there. They'd still be checking the reg card to make sure that no minors would be allowed in. Nothing changes there, and yet they still find the need to cancel these parties. And, I don't think that both Greeks and non-Greeks are going to take this too much longer, and hopefully this can be resolved cooperatively.
Okay, well, I think we'd certainly like to hear some opinions on the noise ordinance or the drinking laws. One thing I'd like to throw in...
Drinking in general.
Drinking in general, or, even drinking in a bar. But what I would like to point out, lastly, is that what they are trying to do with these new rules is turn parties and fraternity parties in general into bars. And what happens in a bar is if you're not 21, you can't come in. And I think that effectively would cut out probably more than 50% of the students on this campus. So if you're out there and you're thinking, well, I'd like to go to that big party this weekend wearing a sheet and not get in and drink a beer, maybe you'd like to call in and talk to us. I think we're going to take a break now, and we'll be right back in a minute. This is Wrap Your Mind.
Do you have a bone to pick? Are you having run-ins with the registrar's office or your dean's office? Do you feel you're being treated unfairly by the administration or a faculty member? If so, don't just sit there and take it. There may be something you can do about it. Why not stop by the Grievance Center, located at 376 Memorial Union, or call for an appointment at 752-6101.
For those KDVS amateurs out there, the phone number is 752-2777. All right, a quick change of pace from fraternities, drinking, and going out to the wonderful institution of sports. Talk hopefully a little bit about the World Series coming up, the playoffs, the baseball picture, and give a few predictions. And right off the bat, Stevin, I got to say the Chicago Cubs, emotionally, historically, and just all around, are the hands-down favorite to make the series and take the whole thing.
Well, Scott, it's an interesting opinion. I think a lot of people are caught up in so-called Cubs fever. I know this year, since Davis has gone cable, nearly everyone can catch, about 45 to 50 of the Cubs home games. But I think a lot of people are forgetting that the Padres, led by National League batting champion Tony Gwynn, and of course the Goose out of the bullpen, have a very solid ball club. Steve Garvey has several years of World Series experience, not to mention playoff experience. And I don't think you can overlook the Padres as a real contender, at least in the National League playoffs.
I'm tempted to agree with you there. The only big beef I have against the Padres is their uniforms. They look like living tacos in those golden brown type of garb they sport, Stevin. Other than that, I'd have to say they are a contender with the future senator-to-be, Mr. Garvey, on their team. I have a quick question, possibly for any of you sports trivia masters out there. Today, the American League batting title was won by Mr. Mattingly of the Yankees, and he beat out his teammate, Mr. Winfield. The question is not how many points they did get, but if Mr. Mattingly had not gotten that last hit in the 8th inning, who would have won the batting title and by how much? Turning to the American League, I'd right off the bat have to say the cocaine Kansas City Royals have to be counted out from the World Series competition, and I'd have to go with the Detroit Tigers, owned by the same person that owns Domino's Pizza. From pizza to baseball, I think he went. Stevin, any comment on that?
Well, I think you're counting out too quickly the cocaine kids from KC. Dan Quisenberry, National League or American League leader in saves. Everyone's talking about Willie Hernandez for Detroit. He did have a tremendous year, but I think you've got to realize that Dan Quisenberry is the premier reliever in baseball today. KC also has playoff experience, which can't be discounted in this case.
That's a good point, Stevin, and hopefully this next caller right now will have also a good point to make.
You're on the air.
You're on.
Scott?
How you doing?
Pretty good. I want to know why KDVS doesn't come in stereo anymore. I mean, it's really tough to dance to.
Well, you know,
to women's Christian punk music when they're
wait a
not
minute.
in stereo.
I'd like to say...
Hold on, fella. One question at a time.
Okay.
First of all, I'd just like to say that's a question I can't answer it. I can answer every question, but more appropriately... and, no chuckling, please, on the air. More appropriately, an engineer, Jeff, General Manager Mark Stevens, would be better to answer that question, and we're going to solicit their input right now on the air. And, if you're upset about it, here's Mark Stevens to address the issue right here.
Hey, we're going back on stereo in about 2 days. We had a part that broke, and it's getting repaired even as we speak right now, so stay tuned.
I'd also like to say that you've never seen me dance to Christian women's music, and I think I'd like to argue that point with you. You can dance to that music. Scott?
Sir,
hey, Scott, you come to our party?
You want to go? Are you asking me now for a date to a party, or?
No, hey, wait a minute. Our Halloween party. Hey, we're not advertising, so...
No party advertisements, but don't forget, when you talk to Talan, things get done. You will have stereo to listen to KDVS. Back to sports.
Okay, I'd like to address this American League playoff point one more time, and remember just 1 year ago when the White Sox got out to that blistering start, but then faded quickly in the playoffs, and again, your pick of Detroit could be questionable in light of that recent occurrence.
Right now, the Chicago Cubs are favored to win the whole series, though, Stevin, by the Vegas odds makers, and I do give those gambler types a lot of credit as far as it comes to betting and sports. They rate the Cubs 6-5 favorites to take the whole series, and I'd have to go with that. How do you feel about that?
Well, going to the World Series now, I think we were a little stumped on the ace reliever for the Cubs. I know in the other three teams, looking at Dan Quisenberry, Goose Gossage, and Willie Hernandez, you have an excellent stopper, and I think that's become a big swing in baseball. But the Cubs have Rick Sutcliffe, and who can argue with a 16-1 record, nearly unstoppable. He was 4-5 in the American League. It's a different type of league, though. And if the Cubs do make the World Series, how effective is Sutcliffe going to be against that American League ball club?
Well, first of all, Stevin, seeing that he came from the American League, I think the Cleveland Indians, I think he's going to be very effective. And believe it or not, we seem to be as popular as French fries and McDonald's. We have another call on the air right here.
Hello?
Hello, you're on the air.
Yeah, I'm calling in about the baseball thing here.
Okay.
If I'm not wrong, Mattingly won the title at 343, right?
You're not wrong, but that wasn't the question.
Right. Well, we've got to go through this mathematically.
Okay.
No, we don't. We just want the answer. I'm not into mathematics, science, or biology. I'm very much against those topics.
Okay. The point is that if Mattingly had gone 3 for 4 instead of 4 for 5, he would have won by 1 point because he had lesser at-bats during the year.
I don't think that's really correct. However, we appreciate your input and maybe a little bit more research as real mathematicians, as real scientists are known to do. Thank you, though, for the input and the question and the answer. Back to sports, I'd like to interject a little bit of hockey. I went to a hockey game last night in the Cow Palace, the first time I've seen a hockey game in about 6 or 7 years, and it was an excellent match between the LA Kings and the Winnipeg Jets. We saw one fan get hit in the head with a hockey puck. Fortunately, they were all right. They got a standing ovation, though. We saw a lot of good, crisp checking, a few fights, and that's above all why people come to hockey matches. That's why I do, is to see a few good fights, see the gloves go down, the sticks go flying, and I'll make a prediction right here on the air that there will be a professional hockey team in the Bay Area within 1 year. And I seldom, again, am I wrong.
Okay, Scott, and I'll once again interrupt you, even though you're seldom wrong, to take yet another phone call in the long line of phone calls tonight. You're on the air. You're not on the air. We were just kidding.
No? Well, they missed their chance, I think.
I think they did. So you think the Bay Area is going to be a hotbed for hockey?
I do. I saw a lot of drunken hockey fans there last night eating up those pucks on the ice, and I tell you, they were ravaged.
Okay, do you think it's the violence in hockey that made those fans excited, or was it the good, crisp checking, the clean play, and the effective passing a la Wayne Gretzky, who now appears to be the force in hockey today?
Well, Stevin, I think it's a combination of the two. It's sport and violence. It's condoned violence. In what sport do you give someone a weapon and say, do with it really what you will? There's a new policy in the NHL to allow a fight to continue. That's in order so the referees won't get hurt. And I think people come. I know I go to the game to see a little action, see a little violence, and also see some good, clean checking in, some nice passing in hockey. And Wayne Gretzky is the premier player of all time.
Do you think the Oilers are going to repeat this year, or can you name, another hockey
certainly not
team?
the Houston Oilers with former Aggie gridiron star Bo Eason, but maybe the Edmonton Oilers with Wayne Gretzky and Mr. Yannick Curry on there is a very effective team, and I will predict again they will repeat, and seldom am I wrong.
I'd say that's an effective, especially thinking that the Houston Oilers don't play hockey. I don't see any way for them to repeat this year, Scott, but I think, there's some powerful New York teams battered by injury last year, the Islanders and the Rangers, both with solid clubs, and I think you can't discount them.
I don't discount them. They come from New York. That's where I was born. It's a great town, a lot of people. They have a lot of hockey players to pick from, Stevin, and no doubt they'll be right there, but I think those teams are past their prime at this point. A couple more, trivia questions. This is hopefully directed towards Stevin and even the audience out there. Today was the birthday of two different things. One was a famous politician, you have to call him, and his birthday is today. He was 60 years old, and I'm not going to say whether he's dead, alive, or whatnot, but call in if you know the answer. And also, what nation's birthday is it today? And you have to get technical with that one. We might not have any calls if no history majors or political activists are listening, but I'll give you the answer nonetheless. We heard a ring, but we see no lights. We'll keep talking, that's all right. Stevin, you have a point to make, obviously.
I think I do, Scott. I think I wanted to clarify our World Series predictions once again. You'd like to see the Cubs go all the way.
Against the Tigers.
Against the Tigers.
And they'll do it in a full 7 games.
Full 7 games. Well, Scott, that's valid. I like the Padres, though, just to be different. No one likes a conformist. I think KC, with that experience, has taken there, but I think the Padres will go all the way. And I think we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back in 1 minute.
Who were burned alive in their innocent flannel suits on Madison Avenue amid blasts of leaden verse and the tanked-up clatter of the iron regiments of fashion and the nitroglycerin shrieks of the fairies of advertising and the mustard gas of sinister, intelligent editors, or were run down by the drunken taxicabs of absolute reality, who jumped off the Brooklyn Bridge, this actually happened, and walked away unknown and forgotten into the ghostly days of Chinatown soup alleyways and fire trucks, not even one free beer, who listened to KDVS Davis 90.3 FM and demanded sanity trials, accusing the radio of hypnotism, and were left with their insanity and their hands and a hung jury.
Okay, folks, we're back, and believe it or not, we have another phone call, and I'd like to hear what they have to say. Hello, you're on the air.
Yeah, the answer to the question is the police, Devo, and Elvis Costello.
Fella, I don't mean to cut you off. You do have the right answer, but that's been answered 2 or 3 times tonight, and I appreciate your initiative, but the questions we're looking for now is, what nation has its birthday today? 35 years old, and also, what politician has his birthday today? And if you know those, we'd be pleased to hear it. We don't want to hold a, thought show on the
Johnny Madison.
Excuse me? What was that? It's not Tom Lasorda. That's a good guess, though.
All right, we'll take another call if we have one.
Go ahead, you're on the air.
Yes, am I on?
That you are.
Yes, before I answer this, can I find out what I'm going to win?
What would you like to win?
Well, I'd like to know. Are there any options?
The Rolls Royce is out right now.
You can have any choice of any small record, a single at KDVS.
Well, today was the Peanut Man's, President Jimmy Carter's 60th birthday.
Good quote. Briefly, before you get to the other answer, what was his comment when they asked him, how do you feel?
I'm getting old.
No, he said one word.
Old.
But you are pretty much on the mark. I give you credit.
And the second answer, People's Republic of China.
Okay, you also know that answer. Let me follow that up. A lot of Chinese celebrate a different birthday. Do you happen to know that? I'll tell you right now.
I'd like a hint or something.
Okay, it's in the month of October. It's on October 10th, and those are the people that don't support communism, I guess. That's when China was founded in 1911. The Republic of China was Sun Yat-sen. Sir, what's your name? You seem to be very intelligent.
Well, I wish not to disclose that.
It's too bad you're
on to the question. On to the question, I believe that is Taiwan, but I cannot cite the date.
Well, basically, it's not really Taiwan. It's just a difference of opinion. Some people in this country are of Chinese descent say that on October 10th, 1911, with Sun Yat-sen, he founded what they consider China.
Well, let me ask you a question. What China do you recognize?
What China? I recognize Taiwan, obviously.
As the real China, right?
Yeah, yes, I do, sir. But also, because I'm a practical politician, I respect and realize that the communist China is a force in the world, and they're an up-and-coming but a large country, I might add.
I think that's about it for that question. Now, we appreciate your comments, and anytime you feel like challenging us with a question, we'd be more than happy to attempt an answer, and you can call in here at KDVS at 752-2777.
And, Stevin, your word is gold. We have 2 calls on the line ready to challenge us right
Well,
here.
I know I asked my mom to call in, so maybe that's her. Go ahead, you're on the air. Oh, they hung up. Hello. Hello, you're on the air.
Wait, I know we have a call. The boards are lit up.
We wouldn't lie to you folks without obvious financial gain involved. Hello, you're on the air.
Yeah, I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
What world political figure was born on Saturday? Last Saturday.
Last Saturday? He'd have to have quite a career to have been born just this last Saturday and now achieve political stardom. Maybe you could be a little more specific.
He celebrated his 41st birthday.
Okay, thank you.
How about, it's not Jack Kemp. How about Jerry Brown?
How about Lech Walesa?
Time out, sir. That answer's easy. I could have told you that. He's not a politician. He's more of, I'll call it, civil rights activist in Poland. And But you are correct. Next time, a little bit more specificity in your questions will be appreciated.
That is an excellent question. Thank you. I think we have another call.
Hold on.
Hello, you're on the air.
Hello, wrap your mind.
Feel
Hello?
free. Do you want to talk to us?
Yes,
Go ahead.
I can barely hear you.
Well, that's unfortunate because we can hear you very well, but we'll try and speak up.
Am I on the air?
You certainly are.
Yeah. Okay, I'd like to address the issue you raised concerning the cancellation of the Greek parties.
Okay, certainly. Go ahead.
I think that these cancellation of the Greek parties was a reflection of this wave of new conservatism that's sweeping the nation, this sort of Reaganistic Republican religion sort of thing, you know? And these people that are doing this sort of stuff are doing this new morality, self-righteous conservatism, you know, this attitude which is bound to rub off if they're in the media, you know, the newspaper, the television, and even this talk show here on KDVS. I mean, really, it's bound to rub off, and I do believe you see it. You see more ears, short hair, you know, 50s style.
My hair's already too short. I wish it would grow a little longer.
Well, see, the hair issue is really affecting me because I just cut off like inches and inches of my hair. My ears are showing, and I had this overzealous.
You feel a little uncomfortable with so much of your epidermis and skin showing to the public with those ears out and about? Don't see
Okay, I think we're getting a little bit off the track here. I do agree with your conservative point of view in that people are becoming more concerned with a set pattern in society, and that if that pattern is entailed by less drinking, then that's what it's going to take. But I think we are out of time. Scott?
Wait, we have one more call I think we're going to take, and here it is.
Scott?
Yes?
How can you recognize Taiwan when you know that the entire history and culture of the Chinese people is based in the mainland?
I can answer that. If you look at the map, it's a small island, and it's fairly round, and that's... Hello?
Hello.
Scott, go ahead.
I'll just answer that. Well, right now, if you go to the United Nations, I think they recognize Taiwan, and I recognize the United Nations.
They do not! They recognize People's Republic.
They recognize both countries. And if I'm mistaken, it'd be the first time in my life I've been mistaken, and you've hit a milestone.
Well, I mean, my point is, how can you recognize Taiwan as the true China when the history and culture is based on the mainland?
Well, that's a good historical perspective, sir, and someday in the coffee house I'd like to debate you on it, but I think we have another call, and I'd like to speak on other issues right now.
You are avoiding the question, obviously,
I've been known
because
to do
you
that
don't know an
as a
answer.
politician, sir. I appreciate the compliment.
Okay.
No more calls tonight?
Okay.
We're out of time, and that ends the inaugural show of Wrap Your Mind. We will be back every Monday at 9:30 to 10. People, if you liked our show, please feel free to write KDVS, to call in, tell us about it. Even those of you who didn't like the show, feel free to, express your opinion. You do have that right. And that's about it for Wrap Your Mind tonight.